President Obama apparently in a little bit of trouble, according to a new NBC News poll. His approval rating, 41%. Okay, that's pretty close to a disaster. Now, it's not as disastrous as George W. Bush was towards the end of his term when he got into the 20s. But already people are saying that's it, Obama's done. I think Obama's done for other reasons, because he doesn't try that hard and he's basically coasting the rest of the way, if you ask me. A little bit of good news here and there on climate change, taking action on carbon emissions with the power plants, yes. But overall, he's really stopped trying to get legislation passed. He's like a soccer team that has what he perceives to be a 1-0 lead, which is hilarious, and he just keeps passing the ball back. No, don't attack, just keep passing it back to the goalie, which is, by the way, a true recipe for disaster and failure. And let me show you the numbers that unfortunately show you that. Obama, his ability to lead the country, they were asked, and 54% said that they think he is unable to lead the country, and 42% believe that he can. Those are not good numbers. To be underwater on that, where they say, a majority of the country says, we don't think you're capable of leading the country. Obviously not a good place to be. How about foreign policy? How's he doing there? Even worse. 37% approve, 57% disapprove. Again, keep it in perspective. George Bush's numbers, yes, were far worse. But when you're starting to talk about George Bush's numbers, you're in a very bad place. Okay. Americans disagree with Obama administration's decision to do the prisoner swap for Bo Bergdahl by a 44-30 margin. To me, that says that the propaganda is affecting him. Look, there's a lot of good reasons to criticize President Obama, and then there's a lot of crap reasons that the conservatives keep throwing at him, like the Bo Bergdahl thing. Oh, how could he rescue a POW? But they were yelling at him for not rescuing the POW before, right? So there's no winning with those guys, and what's frustrating is that they shout so loudly that you can't help but hear them. And for people who don't follow politics closely, they hear a little bit of shouting here, they hear a lot of shouting here, and they go, I don't know, I guess that must have been bad. So I heard that guy was a deserter. I heard we gave away the Taliban dream team. Okay, no, it was a bad idea, right? That works. By the way, if you want to counteract that, it sucks, it's annoying, but there's only one answer. You shout louder, right? You don't lead from behind. And you don't say, well, hey, let's run out the clock here. Let pass this back to the goalie. Okay, and pass it around, No, attack. But of course, he doesn't do that. Now, one of the reasons he's hurting in foreign policy is both his fault and not. It's Afghanistan. He didn't start the Afghanistan war, but he did do a surge there. Of course, it was totally futile and didn't work at all. And we warned him against it, but he didn't listen. He thought he had to appease conservatives. Well played. How's that working out? 27% say that Afghanistan war was worth it. Not that we should stay now, which is a lower number, but that it was ever worth it. Even though the people who attacked us did train in Afghanistan. I mean, forget Iraq, where they weren't from Iraq at all. Now people are saying, even the guys who did 9/11, screw it, it wasn't worth it. Isn't that amazing? Get out of there already. What's the matter with you? We elected you for a change, and then you doubled down on Afghanistan. It's so stupid. Now, look, a little bit of credit here. Like I said, there are some things that he is doing well. And by the way, the one thing he's attacking on and going forward on is the environment. And look at the numbers. 57% say they approve of a proposal that would require companies to reduce greenhouse gases that cause global warming. Wow, look at that. When you actually do a progressive agenda, in fact, one of the very, very few things I can say President Obama does do a progressive agenda on, the American people approve. Maybe you should try that more often. Wow. In fact, don't believe the hype when all the Fox News guys scream about how Americans don't believe in climate change. Here are the numbers. They do. 61% believe that global climate change requires either immediate action or to combat it with some action. Only 37% say that we don't know enough about global climate change to take action. So those are great numbers if you're a progressive. Probably, by the way, the reason President Obama chose that one category to go forward on. He's like, oh, the numbers are on my side. Okay, I can lead from behind. Okay, now, if you're a Republican, you're all excited because you hate Obama, don't get too excited. Republicans got bad news for you. America hates you even more. Your approval rating is only 29% as a party. That's disastrous, right around where Bush was. Hey, look at that. Okay, the water finds its level. And 45% view you as unfavorable. Those are terrible numbers. What's surprising is the Democratic Party's numbers are not that bad. You would think with President Obama's numbers not being that good and people being disgusted with politicians overall, Democrat would have disastrous numbers too. But their party's actually doing okay relatively. 38% favorable, 40% unfavorable. They're almost above water. It's amazing. Okay. Now, in fact, who would you like to have control over Congress? Now, we hear all the conventional wisdom from the pundits on TV saying, oh, the Republicans, right? That they're going to win, definitely. And with Obama's numbers, you could see perhaps one of the reasons why that might be the case. But when you ask the American people, actually 45% prefer Democrats and 43% prefer the GOP. So yes, they're very aggrieved by Obama, but they're even more aggrieved by the Republican Party. So the overall conclusion is the one that I've been pointing to all along. People are pissed, right? They're pissed at the president because he didn't give us the change that he promised. They're pissed at Republicans for being obstructionists and never doing anything. And they're pissed at the whole system because they think that they don't represent us. And they're right. So then you get to the final numbers in the polls, which indicates exactly that. 32% say that their member of Congress deserves to be reelected, and 57% say they want to give a new person a chance. Now, the reason why that number is so amazing is because in the past, for decades, people would say, oh, the Congress is full of bums. How about your representative? Oh, my representative is awesome. He's not like them. And they would have huge approval numbers for their own representatives. Not anymore. Even for their own representatives, they're like, no, he's a bum too. Only 32% approval rating. Those are incredible lows. Finally, what percentage of the country thinks we're on the right path? 25%. 3/4 of the country is screaming at Washington, you're going the wrong way. Turn around, turn around. But the Republicans love going the wrong way. They're the ones who drove us the wrong way. They got no intention of turning around. And they did it for donor money. Republicans all the time, Democrats some of the time, and that's why Democrats fare a little better than the Republicans do. But President Obama, the guy who was supposed to turn it around, the guy we elected to get us out of that ditch. You remember how he used to say during the elections, you don't want to put the driver who drove you into the ditch back in the driver's seat, right? Well, we didn't. We put you in the driver's seat so you can get us out of the goddamn ditch. But instead, President Obama, on 9 out of 10 issues, revving us up and driving further down into the ditch. Where's our change? How in the world have you changed the system where the lobbyists and the donors control Washington? Nada. Zero. You haven't changed it at all. Gee, I wonder why people are dissatisfied with you.